Coming up, ocean protections, hearing fixes, and RFK eats it, and much more. Welcome to Total Nileation, your existential halftime. I am Niall Sige, aka Optimus Prime. Welcome to the treehouse. Pull up a cushion, take a pull from the shisha, enjoy the exotic dancing. Man, see, I rushed there. I wanted to do some sort of Star Wars joke reference. It wasn't coming to me. Wasn't coming. Crumbled under the pressure. How are you? How are you doing? I hope you're well. I hope this is sounding okay. I'm gonna be real. I had to tweak the setup. You don't need to hear the details, but a lot more blankets and cushions around than you would expect. Yeah, just breaking the fourth wall over here. I'm doing all right, guys. I'm doing okay. I decided, a little update on me. I've decided I'm going back to boxing and kickboxing and martial arts and all of that stuff. Got my first class tomorrow, so this could be my last episode. This could be it. I don't know why. I was about to say I don't know why I'm going back. I do know why. I find it fun. I find it interesting. If you have ADHD, but I find as a rule, if you're, exercises, it's all right. You got to find the thing. You got to find the thing where you're like, I'm looking forward to that. Otherwise, it's easy to not work out. And so that's martial arts. I find it very engaging. I find it weird and fun. But yeah, I'm 0 for 2 on my martial arts experiences. One was a knee thing, which was just random and not actually the fault of the school, to be fair to them. But you know what was the fault of the school? Pretty sure I got some toe fungus that it took a few months to clear up. Had to get some medications and stuff. Owner of the place, I'm not gonna name names, but the owner of this place would clean up the floor, which were all of these absorbent mats that they have not changed since the school opened up just a little after the pandemic. And we sweated a lot in those classes. Credit to them. I was in the best shape of my life. Like, you trained as a fighter in there. That's great. But from what I understand, they would clean the pads on the floor, the mats, with some sort of like all natural, I don't know, maybe like just some dish soap and vinegar, if I was lucky. Probably not. And then the other thing they used was this, like one of those little robot vacuum things. And this thing was 1,000 years old, and it was filthy. It was just spreading older germs. Anyway, so I quit there. That was one of the reasons. And then I went to another place, which I shall also rename nameless. No, it won't. Evoluchow, which is on Spadina. And that was a fun place. They let you spar immediately. And very shortly thereafter, I got a concussion in the sparring because everyone spars like a psycho. And I don't know why you would want to do that. Anyway, so now I'm trying a different place. They seem really cool. The vibe seems really cool. I've heard good references. So we're going to see. Maybe it's going to go really well, or maybe the next podcast episode is going to be even more disjointed. As you guys are like, oh, so you're sparring again, Niall. So I can tell by the way this podcast is going, you've sparred way too much. Anyways, all that being said, guys, let's just get to it. Let's get to why we are here, or one of the many reasons. Well, no, the major reason you're here. Here for you now is the top 9, I was so close, top 9 favorite good news items from our home office in Finger, Manitoba. Guys, before I continue, I think I've already touched on this. I'm going to touch on it again. I literally can't keep up with the good news. I can't keep up with the good news. I don't know if I need to get an intern. I don't know what to do. The last episode was all good news stories from early June. early June because I got into this completionist fixation where I was like, no, all of these stories have to come out. I wasn't able to get them out. There's still 9 that are left on the cutting room floor, and then we've had to move on. I think this one might be from June coming up. Here we go. Shenzhen, number 9, Shenzhen, the model of decarbonization. Shenzhen, China's vibrant tech. Shenzhen, I misread that. My own copy, I misread it. China's vibrant tech hub is leading the way in the country's green transformation with an inspiring commitment to sustainable development as the first Chinese city to fully electrify its public transportation fleet, buses, taxis, and ride-hailing cars. Shenzhen has also seen new energy vehicles, NEVs, make up an impressive 77% of car sales in 2024. And for American expats who miss home, you can request that your EV taxi swerves into oncoming traffic and nearly kills you. 77% of new car sales. I hate to be that guy, but who's that 33%? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, are you, you're the guy, you're the one out of a very small percentage of people in this city. Yeah, I got a gas guzzler. Why? I don't know now. I guess just to be contrarian. This shift, so I gotta hydrate, guys. It's a bit toasty, as you well know, if you're in Toronto, Canada. This shift is supported by bold policies, innovative financial tools like green bonds, and a thriving local EV industry powered by companies like BYD. Shenzhen's proactive approach has significantly reduced air pollution and set the stage for other cities to follow its example, offering a glimpse of a cleaner, more sustainable urban future. I think I've touched on this before. Why don't we have BYD in Canada? I know. China's gonna listen to... I don't care. Dude, you're all listening to my shit. You're all invading my privacy. Do I care if it's a Chinese person doing the invading? No, I don't. In fact, if anything, I would prefer it because, what's his face in Shenzhen doesn't care what my, whatever. Anyways, moving on. Beyond transportation, just give me a BYD. I want a BYD option. They look fucking awesome. Shenzhen is taking ambitious steps in carbon management and clean energy adoption. It was the first to implement a local carbon cap and pilot emissions trading system ahead of national efforts, and now generates nearly half its energy from clean sources, especially nuclear. The city is also scaling up green finance initiatives, aiming to channel billions into climate-friendly projects. While Shenzhen's success may be rooted in its unique advantages, such as its high-tech industry and forward-looking policies, its achievements show what's possible when innovation policy and environmental vision come together, while America shows what's possible when all of those factors fly apart violently, like a smoothie just with the blender, like the cap is off and you turned it on because you were really overwhelmed and you were like, oh no, and now it's just everywhere. Number 8, another China story. I'm guessing Shenzhen is like their Silicon Valley. Was that? I'm guessing. If you live in China, let me know. Do you guys have the Silicon Valley douches? What's the Chinese version? Moving on. Number 8, China is achieving historic progress in renewable energy, breaking global records with its rapid expansion of solar and wind power. Between January and May of 2025, that's this year, China added 198 gigawatts of solar and 46 gigawatts of wind, enough to generate electricity comparable to entire nations like Indonesia or Turkey. Not to be outdone, Canada added enough solar power to power one actual turkey. Okay, maybe not, but you get my point, right? Like this is embarrassing, man. Why are we not as competitive about our renewables as we are about hockey? I want a place. I want to be in the top 5. I look at China and I'm like, I just want the completely unearned moral high ground of living in a country that's doing the right thing. Well, not always the right thing. I'm sure China's a messy bitch, just like every other country, but they're whipping ass when it comes to renewables. In May alone, China installed 93 gigawatts of solar and 26 gigawatts of wind, a monthly total capable of powering countries such as Poland or Sweden. These milestones means its total solar photovoltaic capacity now surpasses 1,000 gigawatts, half the world's total. Why isn't China bragging about this? Don't they understand shame is a great motivator? Or maybe they are bragging and we're just not hearing the stories. But where's the, you know, the moral high ground? Sorry if I adjusted my mic. That might have sounded funky. This surge in green energy is not just a climate win, but also a beacon of optimism for global environmental progress. Despite economic pressures, China's leadership continues to link clean energy development with national growth, seeing it as it's a core driver of economic revitalization. The fact that the world's biggest greenhouse gas emitter is also the leading force in renewable energy offers hope for meaningful climate action. With international dialogues resuming and China setting the pace, the global clean energy transition is moving forward faster than ever. I feel like these are like, listen, if you're running a good news podcast, renewables are the gift that keeps on giving, because there's always going to be good news in terms of renewables, because it's just a tidal wave at this point. And honestly, does it hurt? Does it hurt to hear it? I don't think so. I think it's good news to hear. Number 7, Colombia's Congress has passed groundbreaking legislation to support children orphaned by femicide, offering mental health services, financial aid, and extended educational support. A move that Andrew Tate described as, I'm kidding, who gives a fuck about that goblin? Who gives a fuck what he thinks? Oh, die alone in a fire. This new law is part of a growing regional effort to protect the most vulnerable victims of gender-based violence. With this bill, those children will now have access to resources they need to heal and grow. Strong start. Strong start. And I was going to have a comment on this, but number 6 semi-addresses it. Here we go. Number 6, despite the staggering toll of femicide, there is growing global momentum towards change. Over the past decades, more countries have begun recognizing femicide in law, making a powerful shift after decades of silence. Latin America has led the way with strong legislation. Props to you. Props to y'all if you're listening to this from Latin America. I was going to try to speak Spanish, but it's Duolingo Spanish, and the shame is strong. Spurred by public advocacy and regional treaties like the Convention of Belém do Pará. I'm very proud of the pronunciation. These laws not only define femicide, but also impose serious penalties to ensure justice for victims, often acting as blueprints for other nations to follow Canada. To follow Canada. Do you think this is going to bring about change, legislative change? We've tried everything else. Maybe if I just speak in this really high-pitched voice, I can annoy my nation into action. Crucially, new data collected from 190 economies, why didn't they just say countries? Anyways, helps identify where progress is occurring and where urgent action is needed. While only 29 countries currently have laws explicitly addressing femicide, the recent surge in legal reforms reflects an increasing global acknowledgement of gender-based roots of this violence. Legal recognition is proving essential in protecting women, holding perpetrators accountable, and informing better policy and prevention efforts. The optimistic trend is clear. Countries that enact specific femicide laws are better equipped to reduce violence, protect families, and preserve the vital contributions women make to their societies. This emerging wave of legal reform offers hope for a future where women can live their lives free from fear and where justice systems no longer look away. And why we say free from fear? Free from gender-related fear. You'll still have the same existential fear as the rest of us. You'll still, you know what, I'm not gonna, it's a downer. Why dip into the existential? You know Finish the joke. I feel like you're mostly there. Here's a little sample of the countries that do have femicide laws. I feel like we should give a shout out. I Googled this. Again, I was on deadline, ADHD, yada, yada. So I was not able to find the full list. I wasn't able to find the 29 countries. But amongst the countries, Peru, Mexico. Mexico, I think, is either the first or the only country to have federal law regarding femicide. Turkey, Ecuador, Malta, Croatia, Cyprus, and Costa Rica. So yeah, that's lovely to hear. I'm glad that once you sort of like, it's sad to say, but just you put in a law, and eventually that's one of the more effective ways to change society. You know, people don't think whether it's wrong or right. They're just like, oh, it's the law, so I can't do it anymore. Even though really you should have that boundary in your head naturally. Sure, let's just any port in the store. Let's just get it done this way, as long as it gets it done, I guess. But yeah, I think this is very promising. Add this to the story I mentioned last episode, either last episode or the episode prior to that, where it was talking about how the trend towards only wanting sons and not wanting daughters is starting to shift, if not reverse, in many countries. I think I'm not going to get overly excited, but it's the first few steps to come out from the shadow of the patriarchy. It's not nothing. It's not nothing. Welcome to 2025. Number 5. At the 2025 UN Ocean Conference in Nice, Spain, announced a bold new wave of marine conservation measures, reinforcing its role as a global leader in ocean protection, with plans to safeguard over 3 million hectares of ocean, which I didn't know was a hectare of water. I thought it was something else. I don't know what. I'm not. They always have cute little. Now you're never going 20 miles per hour. You're going X knots per hour. Anyways, 3.1 million hectares of ocean, much of it previously unprotected. Spain is expanding its marine protected area to cover 25.7% of its waters, on track for the global 30% target by 2030. I'm going to say this because I feel like some of us are thinking it. It's weird that you're just leaving 70% unprotected. That's odd, right? I mean, it's nice to have a target, but I think it's odd. It's like I have a family, I protect 30% of my children. That would land weird. Anyways, congrats, Spain. Doesn't matter. 30%, I'll take it. Highlights include new bird sanctuaries in the Canary Islands and proposals for vital seamounts and breeding grounds, all grounded in scientific research. Oh, how refreshing. The fact that they have to sort of mention this, that's a hard one to swallow. And backed by detailed management plans to ensure real lasting protection. Spain's leadership is not just national, but international. The country committed 8.5 million euros to the Mediterranean Blue Cooperation Fund, making it the largest donor, and championed efforts against plastic pollution and deep sea mining. By aligning with global treaties, investing in marine science, and uniting regional efforts under EU frameworks, Spain is setting a high standard for ocean stewardship. These initiatives mark a transformative shift, demonstrating how strong political will, funding, and science can converge to protect our oceans and inspire action worldwide. I didn't have any jokes about this because I don't know enough about Spain, to make jokes about it. I don't even have the stereotypes. I've been there. Something about tapas. Is it they're doing like a tapas of ocean protection? I'm not gonna top that. Sadly, I'm not gonna top tapas of ocean protection. Get that on a t-shirt. Number 4, Cambodia is stepping into a global. Oh, I don't know why. I just listen. I'll write the things as I've already mentioned. I write the text out, leave it for a bit, come back to it, and now it's just way too fresh. So we're all discovering it together. Cambodia, number 4, is stepping into global leadership on child nutrition with bold reforms to its national school meals program. At the 2024 School Meals Coalition Summit and Nutrition for Growth event in Paris, officials shared how the country is transforming school lunches to tackle widespread malnutrition and strengthen human capital. Oh, human capital. Fuck, I love that so much. The shift towards human capital just feels so great, guys. It feels like Star Trek. It's the beginning of Star Trek, I think. Because listen, capitalism, you played a good game, but it's over now. People are starting to realize, wait, you suck. You suck. You're the toxic friend who's always just narcissistically fucking gaslighting us. So human capital, baby. Also, if you're like me, did you wonder when you heard about the 2024 School Meals Coalition Summit and Nutrition for Growth event in Paris, did you wonder what the lunches were like? Do you think they were good? Do you think? I don't even know. I feel like everyone at that coalition should have to eat a school lunch from your country. So whatever your country does, that's what you're eating. And if it's not good enough for you if you feel shame sitting next to, like, I don't know, Nigeria or whatever, or some other country, you're like, what do you got? What's that over there? Tofu. Oh, then that's a sign you need to change your program. With over half the population under 30, Cambodia sees investing in children's health as vital for sustainable development, backed by increased government funding and a new school meals policy through 2035. Over 300,000 children now receive hot, nutritious meals annually. By 2028, Cambodia aims for full national ownership of its school meal program, built on partnerships, strong data, and a focus on both health and learning outcomes. I gotta say, as Gen X, I very much enjoy hearing about countries that are probably not as rich as Canada getting better lunches than I did. I think that's great. So it's so refreshing just to see progress happening like this across the world. Because, yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Pretty sure the meals I ate probably would qualify as some form of child abuse. It wouldn't make it in Cambodia in any year. Key to this transformation are newly developed school meal nutrition standards shaped through rigorous research and broad stakeholder consultation. The government introduced fortified rice, boosted vegetable and protein portions, and added daily fruit servings while limiting sodium and added sugar. A pilot program in 40 schools is already showing positive signs, with students responding well to healthier, tastier meals. Cambodia's strategy also includes food education, cost-effective menu planning, and an ambitious goal to reach 80,000 children with fortified rice by 2027. With a clear roadmap, strong political support, and openness to global collaboration, Cambodia is offering a hopeful and practical model for countries seeking to nourish their future through school meals. Not to be outdone, RFK proposed a national program to feed children fortified HGH and a strain of horse smallpox. That old bitch. Number three. Always end a news item with that old bitch. Apologies. I don't know how good this mic is. If you can hear me gulping, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hopefully I fixed it in the edit. Probably not. Probably not. I am an imperfect animal, as are we all. Number three. Breakthroughs in gene therapy are offering unprecedented hope for individuals born with genetic hearing loss. A recent study highlights a life-changing development where I don't know why life-changing was in quotation marks. I didn't put them there. Where a single inner ear injection of a functioning OTOF gene, has significantly improved hearing in patients ranging from 1 to 24 years old. This innovative treatment has enabled many participants to perceive sound at much lower volumes, with one 7-year-old girl achieving near complete hearing recovery and the ability to engage in conversations within just 4 months. The girl's parents were moved to tears knowing that they can now have the option to yell at her about how messy her room is. That's got to be trippy. That's great. Complete hearing recovery? Oh, that is just good for us. Good for us. This remarkable progress signifies a monumental leap forward in the genetic treatment of deafness, opening doors to a future where many more individuals can experience the world of sound. Researchers are not stopping here. They are actively working to extend these successful gene therapy approaches to address other, more common genetic causes of deafness. This ongoing research promises a future filled with even greater possibilities for restoring hearing and enhancing the lives of countless individuals globally. And super hearing. That last part was just me, but come on. Aren't we halfway there? I don't know what an OTOF gene is, but can you add another F for fucking loud? And then pow, I can hear, conversations in the other room. When the next streetcar is coming, just listen, put my ear on the tracks, be like, oh, it's 10 minutes and someone just farted in the second car, so I'm gonna walk. Something to think about, scientists. You're welcome. I'm an ideas man. Number 2, Ireland has achieved a significant environmental milestone. So congrats to you, Ireland, officially ending its reliance on coal for electricity generation. The country's last coal-fired power plant, Moneypoint, what a weird name, ceased operation ahead of schedule, marking a pivotal moment in the global transition away from the dirtiest fossil fuel. This early closure is a direct result of Ireland's impressive commitment to renewable energy, dramatically increasing its wind power generation from a mere 1% at the turn of the millennium to over a third of its electricity supply today. God damn, that's a good pace. That's a good pace. I don't have a lot to compare it with, but from almost nothing to a third in what is that? 25 years? I don't know what a turn of a millennium is. I don't know what a turn of a century is. We have to stop using the turns term. It's annoying. Give me a fucking year. We get it. You went to college. Turn of the century. Jesus. All right, listen, this is good news. Let's keep it positive. Hold on, I'm trying to read the joke here. Okay, I'm just gonna move on because I don't know what the joke was. I'm freaking out. I'm like, I can't be reading a joke on air live. Oh, there it is. Yeah, not worth it now. Not worth it. Not after that little rant, that little ramble. This achievement positions Ireland as a leader in sustainable energy, joining a growing list of European nations that have successfully phased out coal. While Moneypoint will serve as an oil-based backup until 2029, the focus is now firmly on building a robust power system capable of running entirely on clean, homegrown renewable electricity. This commitment to expanding grid infrastructure, storage, and flexibility will ensure Ireland's energy future is both sustainable and secure. And also, I love that coal is now the energy version of that X you hook up with, when you're like in a bind. Anyways, I think from now on, I'm just going to refer to my exes as coal. The ex that you have sex with, I'm just going to call them coal. They'll be like, that's not my name. And I'll be like, yeah, it kind of is though. Man, if you work in energy, specifically in renewable energy, it must drive you insane how much is going on and how little people know about it. It must be so upsetting to see people freaking out and be like, oh, yeah, guys, it's not ideal, but we're doing some stuff. Wow. Anyways, but then I suppose it's offset by the fact that you're doing some good stuff. And my number one, my favorite story for this week, the Global Vaccine Alliance, Gavi, which which is an odd name. Gavi? Why would you call it Gavi? Gavi sounds like that nice kind of, that nice foreign guy. He's like Greek or like Macedonian. He works in your office in the mailroom. He always brings in like fun desserts. You're like, I don't know what these is. And they're kind of like, they're okay, but they're not amazing because they're like healthier. Gavi. Anyway, so Gavi has successfully secured over $9 billion to fund its life-saving mission from 2026 to 2030, a significant achievement during a challenging time for global health. Despite falling short of its original target, the funds raised from governments, philanthropists, and leftover COVID-19 resources will help immunize 500 million children and save an estimated 8 million lives from preventable diseases like measles and diphtheria. Pardon me. Is it weird? I double checked this. 500 million children immunized, but only 8 million lives saved. I'm sure that, like, if I were a virologist, I'd be like, yeah, that math checks out. It feels like 500 million. 8 million out of 500 million, that feels like a very low percentage. But at least 8 million is a lot of fucking people. It's a lot of people. Gavi's leadership praised the outcome as better than expected given current global aid cutbacks. That's a shot at you at the United States of America. And highlighted new commitments from countries once supported by the alliance, such as Indonesia and Uganda, underscoring a heartening cycle of progress and global solidarity. I included this out of spite. Not just because it's a great story. I mean, that's fucking great, right? Like that last part is sneaky amazing. Countries that were supported, like Indonesia and Uganda, are now like, you know what? We're better now. Thank you. Here's some cash. Go help someone else. This is a positive feedback loop. Don't sleep on that. That is fucking huge. But then the other thing to not sleep on, because we like to freak out when we hear bad news, the United States has, cut its foreign aid and we're fucking still handling business. Gavi is. You know how he is. You know how Gavi hustles down in the mailroom. I am just saying, this is very important to bear in mind because I know there's a lot of like, oh, we're all going to die. But it's like, you have to look at the progress we make even when the parking brake is on. Think about what we could do if that fucking parking brake came off, which it will when that happens. When that happens, let me tell you something, kids. I'll say it right now. This is canon. I promise you this is happening. The positive change that's going to occur is going to be, it's going to freak you out. It's at least going to freak me out because the speed is going to be disturbing. I'm barely, just fucking fingernails. I'm barely holding on by my fingernails with how things are going now. It's going to be a lot of good. Anyways, even amid shifting geopolitical landscapes and some disappointed donor withdrawals, Gavi remains committed to its mission, planning reforms, strengthening partnerships, and cutting internal costs to maximize impact. Encouragingly, multilateral development banks pledged an additional $4.5 billion in loans for vaccination efforts, marking the first time such funds will be available. With major support from the UK and the Gates Foundation and growing momentum from emerging donors, Gavi's campaign represents a powerful reminder that collective global action can still drive meaningful, hopeful change, protecting millions of vulnerable lives in the years ahead. Maybe we need to talk about the benefits of the U.S. withdrawing from the world. I mean, listen, we're all freaking out because they're telling us that we should be freaking out. But like, I don't know, if the U.S. gets a little more Fortress America and like sits on its own saying, you guys can't come in, this is my clubhouse. Is that terrible? Like once we mitigate all of this stuff about them not playing in the global economy and all of that stuff, it's like the super high octane guy leaves the party, Like you don't get any more of his fun stories, but at least we all get to play that party game we all wanted to play, but that he fucking hated. And we got that, and then we don't have to watch the Punch Bowl for him dropping some Cosby shit in it. Listen, the U.S., I love you, but your dark is dark. Your dark is fucking dark. Guys, let me tell you, I do this every week now. I think it's just a segment. It's the same segment. I should contemplate just taking the audio from the previous episode, copying and pasting it into this. I know I keep saying this, and I keep saying this because I know some of you are still doing it, because I did it for a while. While I was doing this podcast, I was still relapsing on news. I knew all the benefits of not watching, listening, keeping track of the news, but I was still doing it. Now, I still have to do it a bit because I'm part of the Beef Version podcast, but this is, I wanted to underscore this. Here's the thing. So I don't know what the status is right now between the US and Iran. Maybe I should have Googled it before this podcast. Maybe there's still some shit going on. I'm sure it's not fine. But I would like to say that whole instance, there was a period, and maybe we're still in it. I don't know. I haven't checked in the news in a week. But there was a whole instance where we were all very certain, I think, that there was going to be a big fucking war with Iran, and everyone was freaking out. Guys, I missed the beginning, middle, and end of that. Do you understand? I fully protected my peace. You have to see that. You have to see the addition by subtraction that I had there. That was zero cortisol. I was just like, I could see people react. I was like, ooh, that looks pretty bad. And then by the time I heard of it, it was over. Do you understand? This is why I'm talking like this is, especially if you're in North America. You gotta at least give yourself a few days off from the news, because the pops keep coming. The news doesn't have any interest in informing you. It just wants you to watch. So it's just gonna keep telling you, oh my God, this new thing is out to destroy you. This new thing is out to destroy you. And I don't know, guys. I don't know if it's worth you knowing about that. Think about it like, okay, let's say since January, because we're all talking about the one guy. We're all talking about your boy, Donald. How many Donald Trump stories have caused you to just have an unwanted cortisol dump? I remember in February, I was freaking out because I thought there was going to be American troops in Canada, in Toronto by like July. That might still happen, but that didn't happen and hasn't happened yet. So what was the point of my spending all of that time fucking freaking out? I lost like a day or 2 or 3 on that. For what? I'm just saying, listen, if you can't do no news, give yourself a news break. Do something. Right. Moving on. Here's another entry for the book club, but it's a new kind of, it's me reviewing a book I haven't read. I want to dunk on this guy so much. I fucking hate people like this. And this guy, oh. So Paul R. Ehrlich, dickface, wrote a book in 1968 called The Population Bomb. And the reason I bring it up is because I think it's important, because there are Paul Ehrlichs everywhere, but now they're on social media and they keep coming up with these theories of like, oh my God, the sky is falling. Let me tell you what he predicted. And this was a bestseller. So everyone believed him. And bear in mind, I'm pretty sure this guy's background, I think he was an entomologist. That's bugs. This guy was some sort of bug nerd. But he decided to leave his lane, write a population bomb book that predicted this: mass starvation in the 70s and 80s. He said that regional, there was some starvation. It was regional, and it was due to environmental, but mostly political factors. There weren't mass starvations in the 70s and 80s. Increased world death rate. The death rate actually has fallen since his prediction. So, yeah. And this one was another one. That's a good one, a classic. England would cease to exist by 2000. What the fuck does that even mean? What does that mean? I think he meant England wasn't going to be white. I don't, that's me putting words in his mouth, but come on. Well, I think, anyways, he said that the fish population would be devastated by 1990. Maybe he meant the band. And this little bitch, this is why I'm taking a little time out of my day to just, slap him in the back of the head. He advocated financial incentives for smaller families, voluntary sterilization, you first, and withholding, this was the killer, withholding food aid to developing nations who didn't control their population. Go fuck yourself. You and your this far. Anyways, yeah. Do you see what I don't. I hope I'm making my point, or maybe not. I don't know. If I'm not making my point, I hope that it's at least entertaining. But we do this all the time. This is the 1960s version of this guy, but there's versions of this guy everywhere. We do this all the time because we tend to predict that we somehow won't get better, which just goes against all history. For the love of God, if nothing else, if you take nothing else from this, try to remember, as a species, we tend to get better. We tend to improve. We tend to improve for the species. Most of us want to make the world a better place. And you'll forgive me if I don't mind those odds, because most of us are a lot of people. Anyways, I feel like I'm rambling more so than I was at the beginning. So I'm going to wrap it up. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please rate and review. Sign up to my newsletter. It's on my site or my bio. I shoot it out once a month. Just updates on shows if you're in the area, shows that I'm doing, but mostly updates with extra bits of good news, just to help tide you over. Follow me on socials at Niall Seguin. I'm on the Beaverton podcast, as I mentioned. You can give that a listen, but it gets pretty dark, so I don't know. My other podcast, Comedians and Dungeons Getting Dragons, another episode comes out next week. That's a fun, big, dumb, fun one. You should listen to that one. Please throw me some change at my Buy Me a Coffee page if you want to support me, which don't you? If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to send me, totalannihilation@gmail.com. And that is it. Guys, remember, if you cannot be a shining example, be a terrifying warning. Let's get it on 3, everybody. 1, 2, 3.